Hey everyone, welcome back to the podcast. I'm Ethan. What you're about to hear isn't a campfire legend or an urban myth. It's something that happened to me and my friends on a road trip I still try not to think about. After that night, I don't drink and drive anymore. This happened in 2018. There were 4 of us: me, my cousin Mike, my best friend Jason, and the youngest guy in our group, Ryan. We'd spent the day partying in a remote forest area. Beer, fast food, loud music, nothing unusual. By sunset, Jason suddenly decided we should drive up to my uncle's place in the mountains. It was over 150 miles away, through narrow roads and sharp turns. I said no, we were already drunk. But Jason owned the car, and when Jason makes a decision, you're going. So we left. We stopped at a small mountain town to grab more beer. Mike passed out in the back seat almost instantly. He was out cold. As we drove, Ryan started talking about mountain legends, creatures that don't haunt houses but follow travelers. Jason laughed. "Ghosts aren't real," he said. The second he said that, the car jolted hard. It felt like something heavy landed on it. We swerved and pulled over. The rear tire had blown out. Brand new tire. Empty road. No reason.
A few minutes later, headlights appeared behind us. A local truck stopped. The driver helped us change the tire. When Jason tried to pay him, the man shook his head. Instead, he said something weird. "You guys are traveling as 4, right?" We went silent. Then he added, "There's an old shrine up ahead. Don't drink near it. The mountains don't like disrespect." Then he drove off. No one said a word. A couple of hours later, I smelled something awful. Not gas, not smoke. It smelled like burning meat. I was the only one who noticed. I asked Jason to stop. The engine was fine. Jason laughed. He watched too many horror movies. Jason and Ryan stepped out to take a leak. That's when I realized Mike wasn't in the car. They told me we dropped him off earlier. I knew they were wrong. I was sure I'd seen him asleep beside me the entire drive. Or so I thought. The car wouldn't start. It was after midnight. I stared toward the river and saw movement. Shadows shaped like people, but moving wrong. Then I felt someone sit beside me. I turned. Mike was there. He was eating our food with his hands, ripping it apart like an animal. His eyes were empty. I screamed. When I looked again, the seat was empty, but the food was gone. Something heavy stepped onto the roof of the car. Slow footsteps. Jason went outside to check. He came back pale. "It looks like Mike," he said, "but its legs aren't human." Lightning flashed. We saw it. A naked figure, skin covered in sores, long animal-like legs, and Mike's face. It laughed, not like a person, like something trying to sound human. We ran, through rain, through darkness, until we reached an abandoned mountain chapel. Inside stood a massive statue, half man, half beast. The creature stopped at the doorway. It wouldn't enter. An old man stepped out of the shadows. He said the creature was called Mattia, a being with no face of its own. It wears the face you're most afraid to lose. It wasn't hunting us. It was playing. The old man demanded cash to make it leave. We paid. Later, my uncle told us the truth. Mattia is just a story. It doesn't kill people. The old man had scammed us. But one thing still bothers me. When we checked the car, there was never a fourth seatbelt unbuckled. We didn't say a word after that. The old man vanished into the darkness behind the chapel like he had never been there at all. The rain kept falling, light at first and then heavier, soaking the ground around us. We waited for something to follow us. Footsteps, laughter, anything. But there was nothing. After a full minute of silence, Jason finally spoke and said he didn't care what it took, he wasn't staying there another second. We ran back to the car, and when he turned the key, the engine started on the first try. No hesitation, no struggle. That scared me more than anything else that night. We drove for nearly an hour without speaking. There was no music, no joking, just the sound of tires cutting through wet asphalt. Then Ryan broke the silence and asked if anyone had checked their phone. I pulled mine out and froze. Full signal. That made no sense because we'd had no service all night. Jason checked his phone too. Full bars, missed calls and unread messages. Every single one of them was timestamped between 1:12 and 1:16 a.m. Ryan said that was impossible. We'd been at the chapel far longer than that. I checked the dashboard clock. It was 4:40 a.m. According to our phones, only 4 minutes had passed since the car first broke down. That's when Jason asked the question none of us wanted to hear. He asked if we were all absolutely sure Mike had stayed in the back seat the entire time. No one answered right away. I finally said I had seen Mike sitting beside me, and I knew I wasn't imagining it. Ryan admitted he never saw Mike get out either. Jason tightened his grip on the steering wheel and said something that made my stomach drop. He didn't remember dropping Mike off at all. Not anywhere, not at any point during the trip. Then we heard it, a quiet sound coming from the back seat. Breathing. Slow, steady, and calm. Too calm. Jason slammed the brakes and the car stopped in the middle of the road. None of us turned around at first. When I finally did, the backseat was empty, but the seatbelt on the right side was still moving, swaying slightly, as if someone had just let go. We didn't stop again after that. Not for gas, not for food, not even when the sun began to rise over the mountains. When we finally reached my uncle's place, the sky was glowing orange and birds were already chirping. Everything looked normal, too normal. Inside the house, my uncle listened quietly as we told him everything. He didn't interrupt once. When we finished, he asked if any of us had offered it anything. Food, alcohol, attention. None of us answered, because we all remembered the beers, the meat, and the laughter. My uncle nodded slowly and said it hadn't followed us at all. We had invited it. I asked him what it wanted, and he looked at me and said it wanted to be remembered. That was 6 years ago. Jason moved out of state, and Ryan refuses to drive through the mountains anymore. As for Mike, he doesn't remember that night at all. He says he fell asleep at the forest party and woke up at home. No road trip, no breakdown, nothing. Sometimes, though, when we're sitting together, Mike stares at us like he's trying to recognize our faces, like he's remembering something he isn't supposed to remember. And sometimes, late at night, I smell it again. Burning meat. That's when I know some trips don't end when you reach home. They just learn how to wait.